So I was having a conversation with the reception team in my physio office. And one of the girls was kind of throwing out dates and times for, the next appointment. And I was looking at my phone calendar, and uh, it was brain overload. Um, at one point, I couldn't take in the dates, I couldn't take in the times. Um, and I said, I just, I says, oh, could, right, could we just start over? And she kind, looked at me as one would, and I kind of felt the need to explain why um, I wasn't getting it. And I said, I'm really sorry. I says, but my Parkinson's sometimes overloads my brain, and um, especially after having an intense physio appointment. um, I says I've kind of shut down what you were trying to say to me. And they were ever so kind, really really kind. And they said, gosh, we didn't know that you had Parkinson's, and my gosh, you look so well. And the things that you do say to people, because you want to be encouraging, and you probably genuinely think somebody looks well. And the key was that um you know it- that said, you don't look like somebody with Parkinson's. Normally, I would probably just go, "Oh, yeah, I know." But something came over me, and I said, yeah, I go, "Well, that is the misconception." I says, "People think that Parkinson's is all about shaking." And of course, we all look at Michael J. Fox as an example, right? And I says, there's so many forms of Parkinson's. I says there's this big umbrella that different symptoms can fall under. I said, and although it is a degenerative condition, um, some people do have more shakes. Other people may have cognitive issues, where the brain isn't quite communicating the thoughts or the words, or movement, muscle movement, and that. And I said to them, like, so I said, I do have tremors. I said, but you're not seeing them. I said, right now. I says, I have a tremor in my left eye. I said, I have a like rigidity in my left shoulder. I said, where sometimes my shoulder will just begin, like to twitch. Um, I said, some of my tremors are internal. So they're internal in my legs or in my arms. So I can feel the shaking, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can see it on the outside. Um, I said, my speech can be affected, especially if I'm really tired, and then my brain starts to shut down a bit, and I um, have trouble with communicating. So by this time, because I had been talking for a while, and they were genuinely interested to hear how it affected me, then yes, it was more difficult to get my words out, because my brain was kept going not only from the 40 minutes of physio, but from then trying to have a conversation uh, with, the reception team. And so I said, explained that it is difficult at times, um, if somebody throws like dates and times at me, um, because they're looking at a screen and they're reading off, this day, that time, this time. And I said, it just goes over my head. I says, I just can't process it. Um, so, they were so kind because they said, well, we're going to make a note of that on your chart, because then when we speak to you on the phone or in person, that we know that maybe it would be helpful if we spoke a little bit slower. Um, Certainly, you should be in the downstairs room rather than making you go to another level in the practice for your treatment. And the other thing they said, which was really, really kind, was if you're not feeling up to coming in, don't worry about the 24-hour cancellation policy, because we know that you're living with your symptoms day to day, and when you get up in the morning, you don't know how you're going to cope with that day or what symptoms are going to appear. And I was just overwhelmed with their kindness. And then they asked me if there was, they had heard about a support group, and they thought it was in a different location than where my local group is. And so it was an opportunity for me, to tell them about the monthly support group and the things that we do there, and that it's not all doom and gloom, moaning about our symptoms and our various medications and things like that, but that we have guest speakers, we do art, we talk about nutrition, we have lots of different resources and people from the community that come in and speak to us and talk to us about the importance of movement and trying to keep moving, so that we don't seize up, because then the muscles become really tight, and with communication already being a little bit difficult, if your muscles have seized, then it's a lot more difficult to try to get them moving. And especially like if you have cramping in your hands, which for me, that has been one of my most recent and biggest symptoms, is the cramping in the hands, and the fingers wanting to curl in, along with the toe curls and the toe cramps. So it was a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to tell them about the support group, because there are so many people that come into their practice for treatment. And they said that, now that they know where it is, and the day that the group meets, they'll be able to pass that information on. So although I don't really talk about Parkinson's a lot on the outside, like to people that I meet, um, I did realize that it was a really good opportunity to be able to put the word out, so that other people could maybe um, come to know that there is a place that they can go to. Um, and so many things are word of mouth, aren't they? And I mean, communication is big, and I think I probably get turned off about talking with people because um, a lot of people that they might not be interested, that some people don't want to know. I think they're afraid that they're going to catch Parkinson's if they know too much about it, or talk too much about it. And and then of course there's the whole, you know, anxiety that we feel when we have to talk slower, or we're grasping for words. Stress as well can be a huge factor in exacerbating the symptoms. Yeah, stress can be really um, um, a big contributor to feeling uh, the feeling, like confused, and um, not being able to get your thoughts, the words out. So I think it's good to look for opportunities to be able to um, promote the awareness um, for people that are interested. And there are a lot of people out there that want to be supportive. They want to be encouraging. I think it's a matter of that some people just don't know what to say, um, and maybe are worried about being offensive, um, or triggering something off, because of their lack of knowledge. So yeah, I think communication is yeah, I definitely think communication is really important. So yes, for anybody out there, um, look for your local support group, because they can be a wealth of information, a wealth of support and comfort, uh, to be amongst other people that understand uh, how you feel and what you're going through. And it's also great for their um, carers and partners and kids as well, um, to be able to go and become a little more knowledgeable. Because somebody once told me that knowledge is power. And I do think that the right knowledge, and I stress that because, um, there is a lot of knowledge out there that you can Google, but it may not always be the right information. So to me, speaking to someone who has Parkinson's, who is experiencing a Parkinson's, who um, knows about the medication, and to me, it's important to talk to people who have knowledge about it. That empowers you. It empowers them. It empowers your community as a whole, really.